This was BBC Click in 2020, time of COVID, speaking about alternative meats, fake meats, processed food. Have a listen.
Making that piece was absolutely fascinating, and it really helped me to think about the different approaches that we can take to tackling the different aspects of climate change. So, as well as removing our emissions from the air and using greener energy techniques, we can, of course, also reduce the energy that we use and reduce the emissions produced by certain industries. Now, one of the big ones is agriculture and meat production. And over the past few months, both Kate and Lara have been looking at alternatives to the food that we eat.
At Beyond Meat in LA, they've designed the next generation of meat substitute by analysing it at a cellular level. They then went hunting through the plant kingdom for enzymes, fats and proteins that behave in the same way as the elements of the meat. In this case, extracted from peas, potatoes and with beetroot for blood.
I know it's not meat, and I'm going to taste it soon, but just from the juice, it feels like a burger.
As well as the visual appeal, scientists here use an e-nose to examine the components of aroma so they can be mimicked in the lab.
I'm just going to do it the way you do a burger. Straight on in, try and... Oh, it's oozing all over my fingers. Oh, you know what, Ethan? It's dripping down my hands and oozing in a very burger-like way.
You look at the amount of water we use 99% less water. If you look at the amount of energy used, we use about half the energy. If you look at the emissions that we provide, we're about 90% fewer emissions, right? And then lastly, on land, and this is a really important one for the farmer, we use 93% less land. So if you're a farmer and you have 100 acres, you can now grow on 7 acres what you used to use all 100 for.
There is still one major drawback for your average meat-loving family. Where a pack of fresh beef burgers might be priced around £4.40 per kilogramme, the Beyond Meat alternative is currently around £24 for the same weight. This burger substitute is 100% vegan, but while vegetable substitutes struggle to recreate the effect of meat, there is one company who have decided to just grow it in a lab. Aleph Farms are creating what's known as cultured meat, which is grown using animal cells. This meat doesn't fill up any agricultural land with gas-emitting livestock, and no animals need to be slaughtered.
We use less resources, less input to feed the cells than needed to feed the animal, but also addressing the issues of animal welfare, the issues of the use of antibiotics, which is one of the key drivers for developing the superbugs, meaning resistance to antibiotics.
The potential for creating a more sustainable way to feed the planet is huge. But again, the price at around £2,000 per kilogramme right now puts this way outside regular household food budgets. There is also the not-so-little matter of getting approval from food safety authorities before you can even think about selling it, which could take years. For many, switching to a meat-free diet is partly about sustainability and partly about better health. But beyond the marketing hype, are these heavily processed foods actually achieving either goal?
With cultured meat, you are in many cases trading off reduction of methane for potentially substantial increases in the CO2 emission.
I mean, there's a lot of debate and uncertainty around if highly processed food is intrinsically bad for you or not.
Actually look at what is done to that food on the way to you and how much energy is added to it in the course of processing and how many pollutants are produced. That's an essential thing.
There is still a long way to go to produce an effective meat substitute that is both delicious and affordable. But with a third of Britons already stating they lead a mainly vegetarian life, it's a booming market attracting a lot of investment to design the perfect meat replacement.